Hello again, folks. Great to have you joining me for this demo where we're going to go ahead and clean up the resources that we created earlier. So to make sure that we don't get any big bill or that we're not wasting any of the credits unnecessarily, what we can do are a couple of different things. Firstly, I'll browse into virtual machines and I'll just call out that if you wanted to ensure you were reducing your costs of your virtual machine, there's a few things we want to do. We want to bear in mind that a range of the different resources that we have configured so far will cost us money. The public IP address costs money, the virtual machine and the associated storage costs us money as well. Now what we could choose to do is go into that virtual machine once again and click on the stop option. Just bear in mind that when you are working with virtual machines, it's not enough to shut down the virtual machine from within the operating system, such as Windows or Linux. You actually need to be sure that you click on the stop option and then click on yes. This will entirely stop that virtual machine and do something called deallocation. That means that this virtual machine will be deallocated from the underlying Microsoft infrastructure, and so we won't need to pay for the underlying compute, the CPU and the memory. Now do just understand that if you leave this within your environment, you will still pay for the storage even though you don't have the virtual machine running, because that storage will still be taking up space on Microsoft's cloud infrastructure. So feel free to configure this virtual machine as you like, have a play around, shut it down when you are not using it, and when you are ready to delete all of your resources, we can go ahead and delete them now. So what I'll do is browse back to home, and I'm actually going to delete all of the resources that we created in the previous demos by deleting the resource groups. So I'll browse into resource groups, and you can see we've got the VNet and VM resource groups that we created earlier. So what I'm going to do is browse into VM1-RG, the resource group for our virtual machine resources, and I'm going to click on the Delete Resource Group option. To delete that, I'll need to type in VM1-RG, and then I can go ahead and click on Delete. Now that's going to delete everything to do with this resource group, all of the resources within it, all of the associated information, and all of the information about the deployments that took place to this resource group for when we earlier created our virtual machine. So similarly, I want to make sure that I delete any other resources as well. So we'll browse into VNet1-IG. I'm going to go into the Overview section, and once again, I'll click on Delete Resource Group. Now, I will just call out that if you've got a standard deployed VNet here with no special features or additional security configured, you're not really going to be paying anything for this, so you could leave it running if you like. However, to be on the safe side, and because I don't want to have a messy environment and we've finished up with that VM, let's go ahead and delete that now. So I'll delete VNet1-RG, and I'll click on Delete. Now, as I spoke about in the earlier demonstration, when you create virtual network resources, you get this automatically provisioned Network Watcher resource group as well. And if you've configured a range of virtual networks across different regions, you'll see several different resources here as well. Just know that you could actually choose to leave these if you like, but if you don't have any virtual networks, there's not much point. And if you're not working on any of the monitoring capabilities that are available through Network Watcher, then you don't really need this here as well. So once again, to keep things nice and clean, I will delete this resource group and all of the resources included within that. I'll make this easy by going ahead and taking a copy of that resource group name, pasting that in there, and then clicking on Delete. Okay, now what we can actually do is choose to click on the bell at the top right, and you'll get a list of all of the different notifications, and you can see all of the operations that are currently running. Just know that if you entirely refresh your browser or log out and log in, you will actually lose access to the notifications that you see here through this notification window. So everybody, once all of these delete operations complete, we'll have no more resources in our subscription, and we'll be sure that we're not getting any surprises for our bill. Feel free to go ahead, continue to have a play around, create resources as you like, and if you'd like to learn more about the different services that you can configure, then be sure to check out my other content where we cover that in much greater detail. Okay everybody, so that's a wrap for this demonstration. Thanks for joining me.